Greetings. Hello out there in the community. Yeah, it's Chris. I'm back again tonight. Well, they weren't late. The pre-orders for November came in from DCBS, so let's crack into that. And after that, we'll talk about these books that I finished up a little bit. Oh, this is more like it. Way better than packing peanuts. It's all nice and sealed up tight, and its own bag there. This comes from a discount comic book service online, which I believe is affiliated with the DC, the new DC distributor. So we'll have a little discussion here about their service in a minute, but these are all, nope, get these all right before we do this. Alright, so here we got a couple of backboards that I paid for. I'll let you know why in a minute. Here's our invoice. Let's move these guys over. Alright, here's what I got from DCBS. This is pre-orders for comics in November. Alright, first we got X-Force number 14. This is the one Faria variant, I believe. Great artist. If you haven't read, what's that? War of the Realms Punisher by Juan Faria, check it out immediately. It's quite good. Alright, we got Catwoman 27 with the Jenny Frison variant cover. Something is Killing the Children, number 12, A cover. We go for Rorschach number 3, Peach Momoko variant. Cable number 6. Hellions number 6. Miskatonic number 1. This comes from Aftershock. Excalibur number 14. Marauders number 15. Wolverine number 7. Punchline Special number 1, Frank Cho cardstock variant. Marauders number 14. Tales from the Dark Multiverse Hush Special number 1. X-Men number 14. Crossover number 1 by Donny Cates, Jeff Shaw. The Autumnal number 3. Love this series so far. And it seems like it's ongoing now, which I'm really excited about that. I Walk with Monsters number 1, the second half to the, what do they call this? The Nightfall 2020 was the Autumnal. And I Walk with Monsters for the 2 new titles for this year. X of Swords. This is Excalibur number 15. And that's 10 of Swords, I know. Here we have, that's cool. This is the variant cover for Department of Truth number 3. I'm blanking on the artist. Andrea Sorrentino cover. Excellent. And last here we got X-Men number 15. Alright. Let's take a look at the invoice real quick. It's all there, but on the website I also pre-ordered to go with this backboard. They should also give me a bag with it since I paid for it. But I paid for X of Swords Destruction is not in the box. And this one is Tales from the Dark Universe, Dark Multiverse Flashpoint, which got pushed back to December 9th and will be in my next pre-order box from DCBS. Alright, so I set up for this ahead of time. I'll go to my email, go back, go to drafts. So I already took care of the fact that I knew that Ten of Swords Destruction was not going to be there, so I go ahead and let them know that. So, bam. And send. Alright, done. Alright, let's move these guys here up top so we can move into the quick little review of the library books that I've finished since last video. Well, not since last video. This is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I actually finished this about a month ago, and it just didn't go back with the rest of the stuff I returned accidentally. It was hiding under the bed. But this one's about a group of soccer moms in 80s Georgia, somewhere in the South, and their neighbors all start acting weird, and the animals are like killing each other, and the people are eating animals and stuff. And then a new neighbor moves in across the street, and he ends up being a vampire. And since they don't know it, they invite him into their house, and he eventually takes over the whole town on some kind of Ponzi scheme. And he's done it like his whole life. And so these soccer moms, they have to put aside their differences and take out this vampire. And it's really interesting. But I will say that the booktubers' comments and reviews, or just descriptions of this ahead of time, made it seem a bit more action-packed, and it was a bit more epic in scope, I guess I would say. But I still really enjoyed it. This first book I've read by Grady Hendrix. I definitely read some more because he's got a really good style. And here we got Hawkman Volume 3, Darkness Within. Okay, the Brian Hitch art gets dropped, and it's mostly by Pat O'Liff with one issue by Will Conrad. But the story is pretty much excellent. I've seen videos from the community saying that Vendetti has written like the only worthwhile comic of the past 2 years, and I tend to agree with him. It's not exactly the only worthwhile, but it is definitely a cut above, especially when you're working with a character like Hawkman. And here we have Daredevil Volume 3, Through Hell, by Chip Zdarsky, and this one is almost fully illustrated by Marco Cicchetto, and it has some really great character building and character work with the Kingpin, and his Wesleyan here is definitely knows his shit and can get a lot of things done. And they got Daredevil snowed. He thinks the governor or the mayor is behind the cops being against superheroes and stuff, when it's all been being run by the Kingpin and another powerful family. But Volume 4 is waiting for me at the library, and I'll pick it up hopefully early next week, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And here we got Alex Pechnadel and Trakhanov's Turncoat. Really great world building. The art is pretty crazy. I've never read Silver Surfer Black, but I've seen art by Treadmore, and this art reminds me of it. If I'm totally wrong, please drop a comment and let me know. But Trakhanov's art is quite crazy, but the main overall story is Earth used to be ruled by an alien force, and then a group of rogue cops found out a way to put the hurt on them really good, so they all left the planet and kind of left us in the lurch. But there are still some kind of like human alien hybrids that are supposedly illegal, but there's a conspiracy with them going on, and it's pretty good. And the last page is kind of like a cliffhanger, which I won't spoil, but I don't know if this was supposed to be self-contained or if there's more coming someday, but it seemed kind of cliffhangerish at the end. And then we have Dying is Easy by Martin Simmons and Joe Hill. Very, very wordy, but definitely very, very worth it. The art's pretty crazy. It's quite different than Simmons' work on Department of Truth, whereas Department of Truth is more of like a Bill Sienkiewicz, Dave McKeon type look, and this is more closer to standard line art. But it's about a comedian who is framed for murdering another rival comedian who's gotten to the big time because he was stupid enough to say, "How much would you pay me to kill this guy?" And then, of course, he ends up dead in the morning. So he has to end up going out and clearing his name. Unfortunately, the variant covers in here by Gabriel Rodriguez of Lock and Key kind of have like a lineup of all the suspects, and they show the person who actually committed the crime before you finish the book as one of the suspects. So, although it doesn't quite spell it out, by the time I got closer to the end, I had that in my mind that she was on the alternate cover as one of the suspects, when she hadn't been previous in the book, so that kind of spoiled that end twist for me. And then we have Star Wars: The Rise of Kylo Ren by Charles Soule and Will Sliney on the art. This was really good. It doesn't really show you anything more than the flashbacks in The Last Jedi as far as what happened between Luke and Kylo. Just that Luke was standing over him with a lightsaber, and then Kylo destroyed the temple because he was mad. But then it has other Jedis who are off-world at the time, who are chasing Kylo Ren through the universe after Kylo goes to talk to Snoke. And Kylo does say that all of Snoke's scars are the fault of Luke Skywalker in the book, so that's new information to me. Kylo meets the Knights of Ren, who is led by a man who's dubbed Ren. And so Ren asks him to create a good death. So Kylo goes to kill one of his 3 fellow Jedi. And then when he can't do it, Ren snaps his neck. And then Kylo finally learns that the good death would be to murder Ren. So Kylo murders Ren, and that is his turn to the dark side. There is kind of a corny part where they have a big double-page spread where all of the Jedi-sensitive people are sensing his turn to the dark side, and it shows Leia gasping, and it doesn't show Luke, but then it shows Rey at like 5 or 6 years old with Uncle Plet going, "I suddenly feel cold," and I thought that was pretty corny. But then at the end, instead of just taking Ren's lightsaber, red lightsaber, he takes the 3 kyber crystals from his former Jedi student friends and his own and puts them in his hand and just crushes them until they turn red, and then drops it into his new saber. And then you hear the Emperor's voice going, "Tell me your name." And then the last page just shows him igniting the crossguard lightsaber. And he doesn't actually say it. He just ignites his crossblade lightsaber. So that was interesting. And last we have Uncanny Avengers Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Rick Remender. First volume has incredible art by John Cassidy. But of course he's very slow, so he probably took a year drawing these 4 issues in here. But it's a really cool story where, I'm sure it's so old, you probably know that the Red Skull steals Xavier's body after Cyclops kills him in A vs. X. And now he is the most powerful telepath on the planet, and he wants to incite a race war between mutants and humans. And then at the end of that, you find out that Kang is taken the Children of Apocalypse, who I guess I'm going to read about in the Uncanny X-Force complete collections when I get to them. I didn't know they came first, but I decided to read Uncanny Avengers first because I want to get into Remender. Anyway, feel free to leave a comment and like the video and all of that, and everybody out there stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.